clear Gladbach victory in the Borussia Duel, BVB also loses at the end. Gladbach's emotion roller coaster. That was matter in 2023. Terzic, we don't start from zero, but from minus. Dortmund's defensive trouble. You can hardly invite more than us. Jamal Musiala, the Bayern Munich teenager's top 5 milestones. Xabi Alonso warns of idleness in front of Stuttgart and his team. Clear Gladbach victory in the Borussia Duel. BVB also loses at the end. Borussia Mönchengladbach impressively won against Borussia Dortmund at the start of the 15th Bundesliga match day, a 4-2 over BVB, which suffered another setback. The offensive around Thuram could hardly be stopped. Both Borussia lost during the week. Gladbach lost 2-1 in Bochum and BVB 2-1 in the Wolfsburg before the upcoming long break at the World Cup Championship. However, only the foes in which Stindl replaced Plea, who was suffering from COVID-19, were able to rehabilitate themselves. Edin Terzic has meanwhile changed BVB to 2 positions, can replace Ozcan. Reina started for Adeyemi. Kone did the same after 15 minutes, but Kobo was able to parry the Frenchman Flick. 5 minutes later, the German World Cup driver completed the shot with much more precision. After an outstanding pass from Bellingham and a perfect ball and takeaway, Brandt scored clear in front of Okowski to make it 1-1. Emotional roller coaster. That's what matters in 2023. Borussia Mönchengladbach's football year ended with a highlight. 4-2 against Dortmund. Even more goals would have been possible. Nevertheless, there are also clear tasks for the future. That was an advertisement for football, said Gladbach coach Daniel Fark after the euphorically celebrated 4-2 win over BVB in the last game of the year, which saw the foes move back into the international ranks. Jonas Hoffmann followed up in an interview. The result could have been even higher in this game. And in fact, the Gladbachers were brave from the start on Friday evening, never letting up after their very early 1-0 or the 1-1 they conceded quite quickly, kept the BVB defense busy. Fox players like Nico Slotterback or Mats Hummel made mistakes and scored 4 goals at the end of the day. In short, this fast-paced encounter offered the 45,000 spectators in the sold-out Borussia Park, or the many spectators in front of stream and free TV plenty of highlights. And in the 11 from the lower right, a deserved winner. Terzic, we don't start from zero, but from minus. The Borussia Duel at the start of 15 match day left Gladbachers and Dortmund'S with different feelings. Daniel Fark, the coach of Borussia Mönchengladbach, said, "Of course we are very happy. That was an advertisement for football. Dortmund was very good in possession. It wasn't easy to defend. We were extremely courageous today. We created a lot of things and we got a lot of created chances." Dortmund's defensive trouble. You can hardly invite more than us. Borussia Dortmund's defensive weaknesses were mercilessly exposed by Gladbach. In the 2-4 against the foes, the initial phase was once again fatal. After 6 minutes, BVB was behind in Wolfsburg. Against Gladbach, it took only 4 minutes before the opponent scored the first goal. Nevertheless, Borussia Dortmund did not experience any déjà vu on Friday evening because, unlike before, the entire opening phase was not missed. We didn't sleep like we did in the last game, where we slept through 6 or 7 minutes, but we slept in the decisive phases, recognized Julian Brandt. According to the World Cup driver, BVB let the ball run well around the Gladbach penalty area in the first few minutes, but did not defend well. then you lose the first ball, get a counter-attack, then you run after it again, said Brandt, who addressed Jonathan Hopman's goal and put it in a larger context. That is the thread that runs through the season. Jamal Musiala, the Bayern Munich teenager's top 5 milestone. Musiala is currently wrecking a trail of destruction in Germany, with more direct goal involvement so far this season than any other Bayern man. 13 in 13 appearances. It seems hardly believable that it is just a little over 2 years since the attacking midfield measured first grace in the Bundesliga stage. At the tender age of 17 and 115 days, fresh-faced Musiala became the youngest ever in Bayern's illustrious list of players to make a league appearance. He came on in the 88th minute of a 3-1 win against Freiburg as a substitute for Thomas Müller, a man Musiala had admiringly called one of the best in the world. At the postseason he has made, he owns this season for Julian Nagelsmann's side as the number 10 behind the strikers. Musiala is a young man with an insatiable habit for seizing the limelight on the pitch. Having continued to impress Hansi Flick in the 2022 summer break, he was given a second brief substitute appearance for Bayern in the opening match of the 2021 season at home to Schalke. A mere 9 minutes after coming on for Serge Gnabry, Musiala cut inside to fire in for his third league stride. In doing so, he became Bayern's youngest ever goal scorer at the age of 17 and 200 days, a record he held until his season when Mathis Tauer scored against VfB Stuttgart at age 17 and 136 days. Xabi Alonso warns of idleness in front of Stuttgart and his team. After 2 wins in a row, Bayern 0-4 meet Stuttgart in the last game before the World Cup break. Coach Xabi Alonso praises the Swabian in the higher tones, not only because of their opponent's quality. When Bayern 0-4 hosts VfB Stuttgart on Saturday, the Works club can take a big step up from the bottom of the table. With a win, it could be the third in 7 days. You could make the connection to the middle of the table. If Bayern manages the third 3 in the row, Xabi Alonso's team would have gotten as many points within a week as in the 12 previous games, and at least shook off the acute relegation worries for the time being. In the event of a defeat, there is a risk of direct contact with the last 3 places.